right. Welcome, everyone. I don't know who all is in here just yet. I was kind of waiting to see if the chat and everything would fill up. I'm not really paying that any attention right now. We're getting into the stuff and things, but we are going live with the first episode of the Blerd Cave, and y'all talked about wanting me to do more live streams, do more videos, live, and so I can reach out to y'all. And I wanted to do it, but now we're finally doing it. We're actually going to get into that right now. So as you come in, you'll probably, we'll probably already be well into our topic, but it is what it is. Hey, you show up, you show up. But one thing I do want to say real quick for anyone that is coming in, we are going to do questions during this live stream, but we are going to save those towards the end of the stream. So just kind of bear that in mind. You can still ask questions, and I'll kind of scroll through and look for questions. But for the most part, we're going to try and keep the questions saved towards the back part of the stream. If you want to super chat some questions in, you are more than free to do so. I will not be mad at you if you do, and I'll answer them right away. But otherwise, we're going to keep them to the back. You know the drill. But that said, I do want to introduce my guest who I have with me today. I actually have my good friend Devontae from Alternative Factuals. So go ahead, Devontae, go ahead and jump on in here.
What's up, man? How everybody doing? How everybody doing?
Man, look, glad to have you on. Like I said, some of y'all may be familiar with Alternative Factuals because we have collaborated in the past, at least once or twice. So I mean, some of the folks who jump in here, y'all may already be familiar. But basically, Devontae, tell them what you do, man. Tell them about Alternative Factuals.
All right, so check this out. Now, all them shows that you watch on the CW, Marvel movies, all that, I talk about all of it. Now, I talk about the plot holes, the good and the bad. So any opinion you have about your favorite TV shows, oh, yeah, I talk about all that. And I don't want to get into anything in detail specifically. You got to go check that out over there. But that's pretty much the basics, the logistics of the, what I do. All right.
Okay, all right. I like it. But yeah, I mean, like I say, you can see some stuff that we've done in the past. Like I say, you can go check out. We did a video talking about Secret Wars, and a video talking about Spawn and all that good stuff. So like I said, there's some good stuff to check out. Definitely check out the stuff he's doing on Black Lightning. I love those videos. Like just saying. I'm just saying, not trying to tell anybody how to live their life, but I'm just saying. But anyways, Devontae, why don't you? I'm gonna let you introduce what we're going to be talking about today, because this is something you actually brought to me that I thought was really interesting.
Well, I did say a couple things actually, but
yes.
but this one was, I don't know. I kind of figured that people were a little interested in this. I've seen done a little bit of research on it, and people started to kind of get into this idea of like kind of conspiracy related things. And I know that some people, not super into conspiracies, but this one is kind of cool because it's more comic related. It's about comic books. And what better channel to talk about comic book conspiracies than here, of all places? So this is not something that anyone has to do any research about in terms of, details or publication dates, issue numbers, anything like that. But it's just more for fun for everybody else to kind of jump in and give your opinions, or maybe you've heard something. But that's pretty much, well, that's one of the things we got going for today. And then besides that, we'll kind of go back and forth. I know this is, like I said, primarily Ernie's domain. This is his dimension. So he reigns supreme here. So I'll just, after that, I'll kind of be following his lead. So
okay. And like I said, we'll be talking about what's going to be coming up next. And I see there's already been some questions kind of coming in. I do, like I said, I'm gonna say we're gonna hold off on questions for right now. Like I said, we're gonna touch on those a little later. Like I said, and if I'm just going to say right now, y'all kind of know how the streaming stuff works, probably better than I do. But if you want to super chat some questions in, that's perfectly okay. We'll answer those right away, or as fast as humanly possible. But for the most part, we're going to try and keep the questions to the back end. But anyways, do want to say, hey, welcome to everybody that just came in. Because then we got a whole bunch of people who just kind of jumped in all of a sudden. So yes. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, y'all are just filing on in. Okay, cool. I can roll with it, man. Let's roll with it. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna be talking about. Oh, wait a minute here. I got. Why on earth is Google trying to talk to me right now? I think I said a buzzword. I didn't say Alexa or anything, did I? But no. Anyway, we're going to be talking about, like I said, we're going to be talking about that comic book conspiracy. We're going to be talking about what's going to be coming up after Avengers Endgame. And we'll talk about, and of course, I know we'll talk about some of the X-Men, Fantastic Four stuff. We're going to get in that too. Don't worry about that. We're going to talk about it. So, Devontae, what is up with this conspiracy you were telling me about?
All right, so a lot of you may not know, I'm from New York, right? So I've heard about this through the grapevine, doing my little internet searches, and I run across a few things, but someone actually sent this to me, someone that I know. So this took place in 2015, by the way, so I want all of y'all to keep that in mind. And now I have the story right here, and it's going to seem a little weird, and it's going to be a part of the reason why I think I'll get into it later. Let me tell the story, all right? So this takes place in Newark, New Jersey, right? And Newark, New Jersey actually does have Comic-Cons around July. So during this point in time, there were a group of 12 people, and 10 of them are found dead. So after they were found dead, a lot of people speculated that this was in relation to the comic convention because of the evidence that was kind of found at these crime scenes. And the evidence that was found at the crime scene, ironically, for all 12 of these places was a Constantine Hellblazer City of Demons comic book. And to be very specific, too, it was issue number 3, if I remember correctly. But out of those 12 people, 2 of them actually managed to survive. It was like a murder-suicide kind of thing. So these were actually 2 of the people who attempted to kill their family and then kill themselves, but it didn't really work out that well. So they survived. They were, resuscitated, brought back to the hospital. And then when the police actually asked them what was going on, what was their recollection, for some odd reason, they said they was reading the comic book and then they just snapped. And then something in their head triggered them to go into their parents' room and do what they did and pretty much end the deed for both. And mind you, the 2 kids that survived, they never met each other. And what makes this even more creepy is the fact that around page 20, that's exactly when they both kind of blacked out. And I don't know if you've ever seen page 20 of, like I said, Constantine Hellblazer City of Demons. I actually had to look it up, and I saw, and it was almost like exactly what the crime scene looked like with the, if you see it, it's going to be, I think, a son killing his mother. And I believe he was possessed or something like that. I didn't get too deep into it, but it's almost like the crime scene played out exactly. But that's what made it interesting. Now, some people felt like there's been a rise in the occult in New Jersey, actually. You can actually Google that yourselves. But some people feel like it was related to that. Others feel like they had mental issues already going on with them. But
let me real quick, let me ask this. Was this City of Demons? Was that, I mean, I have Google right in front of me. I can just look it up, but I feel like it'd be quicker if you tell me. Is that the one that Alan Moore did? Is that when Alan Moore was still writing?
I believe this particular one, honestly, I couldn't even tell you. I'm not even gonna try and lie to you. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never really read the Constantine comics like that, so I honestly could not tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah, let me see. It's one of those things. Like I feel like, man, it's 2019, man. We're gonna Google this real quick. Because I have to know. It's actually kind of breaking my heart that I don't know this. I should know this because I've read it. But yeah, neither here nor there. That's just so strange to me. Let's see. Who's on this book? Okay, no, not take that back. Okay, that's why it sounds familiar to me. It's Cy Spencer and Sean Gordon Murphy. Who, for those, some may be familiar with, or I may be pronounced his name, or it's probably C. Spencer. I don't know. I'm horrible with names, as has been well chronicled on this channel. But Sean Gordon Murphy, some may remember as the artist on and writer for Batman White Knight. So that is of particular interest to me because I really love that book. I really love that book. It was a great book, man. It's a fantastic book. But so for that, it's a strange thing because, yeah, if you got two people that are having similar experience on the exact same page of the exact same comic, part of me almost want to be like, man, I read that and it didn't, I didn't kill anybody.
I mean, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you completely. I'm just like, well, I saw the page and nothing happened to me. Like, you don't see me on the news. Like, I'm okay.
Well, it's gonna sound really horrible, but like it's one of those things. Like whenever my wife tells me about some crazy stuff that happens in the world, I always want to ask the one question, but she usually like answers it for me before I ask
that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Okay, cool. Look, my wife is white. She knows what time it is because a lot of times she does the same thing. She'll be like, "Hey, white," and I'll be like, "Yeah, baby, they're white." She'll be like, "Damn." She's like, "I thought we got out of this one," and that's usually what I like. And whenever they're black, I'm like, "God damn, man, I don't think we don't do that sort of stuff."
But I mean,
honestly, crime is universal though. Crime is true.
I mean, we're still running in good numbers, so we're usually pretty safe.
Well, right? I mean, just, you usually don't hear about little black kids, you know, coming up out of the BX, out of Queens, you know, or the New York area who just read a comic book and decided to just flip out and just start, you know, just killing people. Parents. More specifically.
If anything, I think that's more of a peaceful time. Comic-Con swings around, things go pretty quiet, actually. That's
dude,
that's the funny part.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I don't live in a city that has like a major. I mean, we have a con, but not a major one. And I'd be chill, man. Like, dude, that's comics to read, man. I got stuff to do. But man, yeah, I don't know, man. That's the strangest thing I think I've probably ever heard in my life. just being real, keeping it a buck. Now let me ask you a quick question. As far as like stuff like this goes, like, do you think like would it have made more sense if it were like the Spectre?
To be honest, yes, it would have made a lot more sense because is he not like the manifestation of like God's vengeance? So I'm just like, it would kind of make a lot more sense, like, you know. But I was like, a Constantine comic, I'm like, I think you got a group of mentally disturbed people that just so happened to be in the same room and had the same comic. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, those coincidences are kind of uncanny, but
yeah, no, if you'd have told me, man, they read like Spectre number like 37, I'd have been like, all right, cool, I get it. They got man, they got. But no, man, you know, it is what it is. I guess let's go ahead here. Let me switch over. Let me make sure that I don't want to ignore what's going on in the chat right now. Okay, cool. Oh wow, thank you, Kendall. But no, so I guess let's go ahead and jump into some of the meat. I guess it's safe to say, Devontae, that you, like everyone else in the world, has watched the Avengers Endgame trailer.
Are you crazy? Like, that's not even a question.
Well, you know, let me backtrack. Because I feel like I was insulting you. It's safe to say you've watched the Avengers Endgame trailer at least 50 times.
Oh, that's a very modest number.
Modest number. I didn't want to like throw a big number out and just like, you know, put too much heat on you, put too much spotlight on you. But yeah, well, we say like what, 100 times, easy.
145 times to be exact.
Damn, I mean, that's fair, man. That's fair. I've watched it a lot too. I even tried to watch it and do like a for Patreon. I was gonna do like a like exclusive patron, like, you know, live watch reaction, whatever. But then the video got messed up, so fuck it. But just know, I really enjoyed it, and I had a really big reaction, bigger than I usually have for trailers. But yeah, man, dude. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's kind of talk about what all's going on in that trailer, because the main thing is, and I think a lot of people aren't paying this much attention, but I want to say it was the Russo brothers said they only sanctioned about 8 to 10 minutes worth of footage that could be used in those trailers. And I want to say it's probably within the first 20 to 30 minutes, give or take. A lot of the stuff we're probably seeing is probably within the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie. And that's why you see so many flashbacks. so many of the scenes from previous movies and a lot of voiceover dub-ins from previous movies. Like what was this one? We got stuff from like Captain America, the first Avenger and Winter Soldier and Iron Man 1, and I think they kind of largely ignored 2. Maybe a little bit from Iron Man 3 and so on and so forth. But I think we got a little bit from Thor, even the weird Thor, like where like the first one where he had like the blonde eyebrows.
Yeah,
that wasn't cool. But I tell you what, the whole thing, like all the shots they set up, like Rocket Raccoon and War Machine, best shot, period. I don't care. I like it better even than the shot where they're doing the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, like the walk down in the space suits. I like it better than that. Just seeing a raccoon sitting on a War Machine shoulder is speaks to me. It does great things for me. But no, it's all good, man. It's all good. Seeing Cap getting that, he's like he cocked his shield. Did you notice that?
I did actually. And
how do you cock a shield?
I mean, that's a different level. Like you have regular OG, right?
Yeah,
but that's a whole different level of OG. That's just like dang, like how just like you said, how you cock a shield, like
dude, triple OG, man. He's a triple OG, man. That's well, I mean, he's just like, and I'm like, dude, wait a minute, hold on, man. That's dude. Is he getting the burner out? Is he? I thought he was about to pull the chopper out like he did in First Avenger. I do remember at one point. I remember him holding a gun or something. First Avenger.
My name is no longer Captain America. It's Captain Strap. Get
the strap. No, but no, I like everything I saw in it, man. It was a good trailer, man. Everything was great in it. But the main thing is like, and I guess to kind of talk about, because to get what we're talking about, I kind of got to talk about where we're at. So you've got Black Widow with the long hair again. She's let the blonde go out. She's got a little blonde tips. The red's back in. We see like a lot of costume changes back and forth between pretty much all the characters for the most part because of that one scene. But we see Rocket in a couple of different outfits. More than everybody else. We see I love how they just kind of like threw Tony Stark and Nebula in there. Just it's like, all right, man, they're in that walk down scene, man. They're doing the slow walk, so we ain't got to worry about them. We don't got to worry about what they're doing. They good. Yeah, they're good, man. They're great. Ant-Man, we knew he was out. He was washed up in the quantum realm at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we now know he got the hell out of Dodge from that. So, spoilers, I guess, to anybody who's trying not to watch the trailers and go in cold. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? But no, so you got all that. We know all these things are happening. Of course, you got Captain Marvel, who I saw a question there about Captain Marvel. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about Captain Marvel a little bit. I'll go ahead and just say, just real quick, I have nothing bad to say, so spoiler alert for that. Surprise, the guy that actually likes Captain Marvel liked Captain Marvel. But no, like, so you got all this stuff going on. You got like we see what looks like there's clearly some shots where there's super zoomed in, like on Cap and maybe even a little bit on Nebula, but you can clearly tell the places where they're fighting are not like Earth.
Right.
I mean, there's that. So we know a lot of this movie is probably not going to be on Earth. We see that there's scenes where the characters are clearly getting ready to go maybe into space, maybe into the quantum realm. Maybe both. I don't know. I'm pretty sure all that stuff's happened in the first 20 minutes. And of course, we know Captain Marvel comes down, meets up with Thor. They get along, unlike the fan base of said movies. But that's just funny to me. I'm sorry. It's funny to me. But all that stuff is happening. There's a lot of good stuff going on there. But I can go and tell you, first thing that's probably going to happen. Avengers are getting washed, regardless of whether Captain Marvel is there or not. I'm just go ahead and say it right now. Avengers are going to get washed. They are going to okay, so everybody remembers the Doomsday Clock number 9 video I did, like, was it last week or the week before?
Oh, you mean
It's gonna be
that spectacular ass whooping? Oh,
yes, that the 2-for-1 fade special, the Mad Titan 2-piece and a biscuit with a drink on the side special that Thanos is about to whip up for everybody. That is what's gonna happen. I guarantee you, Thanos is about to piece up every last single Avenger, Captain Marvel included. Everybody's getting washed. This is what I see happening, and then we're gonna see. Because they shot some weird scenes, and the Russos have already said that they did intentionally go out of their way to mislead people with the trailer. So I mean, that's no surprise. They did it with Infinity War, and they've done it with other stuff. But the thing that I'm looking at is that I want to say when we see that the slow walk scene, I'm almost positive that's 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in, because it's not to say that they're going to pull like a Harry Potter. In the Deathly Hallows, where they had, because originally this was supposed to be a 2-part movie,
right?
And they kind of changed it and said, no, it's not a 2-part movie, but it kind of really was. But I think they just did it to get people to calm down, because 2-part movies had they had a stigma about being bad. Like the first movie you could skip, and the second movie is the one it's the stuff you came for. I think that's kind of what's going to happen here, is that you're going to see, like Avengers Infinity War, that was like your Deathly Hallows Part 1, only better. Much better handled, and actually had some action in it to, keep people invested, keep them paying attention. And then when you get to the second movie, like, Deathly Hallows Part 2 was like, just, oh, wow, this is just like one long fight. It was like a long video game cutscene. But that's what I think is. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but and you are more than free to give it. But what do you think about that?
I mean, me personally, I feel like I agree with you that the trailers are probably going to take place within like the first 25 to 30 minutes for sure. That is something I agree with you on. But me personally, I don't feel like Endgame is going to be too much fighting. I feel like we're going to get that 4-for-4 special with Thanos, and that's going to be it. And then a lot of it, at least how I kind of would perceive it, is a lot of it is jumping back and forth between the present and then the past, because I'm pretty sure everyone kind of figures, oh, there's time travel involved. So yeah, I don't know like how they're going to decide to do it, but I think since they can't be Thanos, he has the Infinity Gauntlet, there's no way they can get them stones back. The best thing that you do is like use a quantum realm, time travel, and kind of alter the timeline gradually or something like that. Or do something in a way where you can go to the past, so that way maybe the Space Stone isn't where it was originally, and events will play out a little differently. But I do not think there's going to be a whole lot of fighting. If anything, most of the movie might be a lot of things we've already seen, but they're going to do like you said, that Harry Potter kind of thing, where they had the Hermione had the time necklace, and then like they realized that they were the ones who actually were preventing those why am I forgetting things right now? This is what happens. Don't get old. Basically they kind of orchestrated their own events for like the last, like, I think 35-40 minutes of like basically that was them who were casting that giant light that caused the why am I forgetting names, that were casting out those creatures, those shadows, and they thought it was somebody else who's going to come and save them, when in reality it was themselves that kind of saved themselves. Like
well, you look at it like this, with Endgame. And I remember seeing shots of this. I don't know, maybe you may remember this too, because I know I wasn't the only one who saw this. But I remember back in the day is like literally maybe a year ago. That's what happens when you don't sleep, man. You just start saying bullshit. But about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, when they were still actively filming Infinity War, and then of course they were filming Endgame as well. Yeah. But there was a shot. Or not a shot, but there was like people who were like on the set. They were taking some shots that kind of leaked, and it was Captain America in the Avengers 1 suit, the one where it looked like he was getting ready to go put on like a kid's birthday party, and it was a real bad Captain America cosplay. I'm gonna go ahead. Look, I don't like. I love Captain America. This is like maybe the one thing I will talk like just breezy as fuck about him on. Is that costume. Terrible. That costume was terrible. It was washed. I'm sorry. But he so he's sitting there, he's got the Hulk, He's got Black Widow. He's got Hawkeye. All the players that were there in the first Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. And you have that scene where they're getting ready to do that whole Avengers pan around, where like it's playing that Avengers theme that's just so beautiful. Love that thing. And in that same shot, you see Ant-Man, and it's like, hold on.
Right?
What is going on here?
That's what I personally think they're gonna do that. I'm like, they're gonna use it as like just things gonna happen for the most part the same, but they're gonna change a couple things here and there so that way they can kind of get where they need to, or basically so everything can happen in the present the way that they need it to happen. So that way either that finger snap never happened, or in some way, shape, or form they have a better chance of winning. How they're gonna do that, I don't know, because I am not the Russo brothers. But
I don't even think you're correct. The only people who know right now are the Russo brothers, because I guarantee you they didn't tell Tom Holland shit.
Oh,
Tom Holland does not know a damn thing.
Leak master flex. That's what he is.
Dude, him, Tom Holland, Mark Ruffalo. Don't give them, like, if you were doing anything the least bit suspect, you better not ever let Tom Holland or Mark Ruffalo know that you were doing it, because it's not even that they'll snitch. It's just they will passingly mention it, and you'll just be like, dude, what the hell?
That's what makes it so funny, though. It's just like, I think in Infinity War they had like 4 or 5 different scripts, and they never knew what the right ending was.
Well, they started sending Benedict Cumberbatch with Tom Holland on all the press junkets. Yeah, dude, because and Benedict Cumberbatch was very openly talking about the fact he's like, yeah, no, I'm here so he doesn't leak anything. Like they know they can trust. He's like, I've seen the script, I know what's happening. So right now, if you want to try and press anybody, you press Benedict Cumberbatch. But I'm gonna go and tell you right now, he is not trying to mess up that bag. He is not trying to mess up that bag right now. He will not. I guarantee you. Benedict Cumberbatch is such a professional, he probably won't say anything until like 3 weeks after the movie's out.
Even better, he's such a professional, he doesn't even remember the ending in the first place.
Exactly. Like, you ask him, like, dude, so how did Endgame end? And he'd be like, I don't know. I worked on 5 movies since then. Which is likely true. Yeah, actually, that's probably very likely true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, so there's all that. Now I know a lot of people are probably wondering, is like, okay, well, what's the next thing? Like, what? Because all right, so we got the Disney Fox deal. It's a lot of people put out some stuff saying it was official yesterday. I think some people missed it, but it was actually official today.
I just think at that point they probably just knew, like, okay, if it's gonna be tomorrow, of course.
Yeah. We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and sell. Like, they're already doing like how was it like a Return of the Jedi, like where people like partying and parading in the streets when the Emperor died, and like that's what they're doing already. They were doing that yesterday. But yeah, like me being a realist, I'm sitting here like, nah, somebody's gonna fuck up this deal at 0 hour. But no, we're good. Everything is through. Everything is in. So the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and I mean, it's about a lot more than that. I think people mostly just focus on those things. But yeah, X-Men, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, all that stuff is all coming back to Disney, and by virtue of that, to Marvel. But that also means that Disney owns a lot of movie properties that a lot of people aren't comfortable with Disney owning. And I'm not comfortable with some of them, but I'm willing to give them a fair chance. So I'm more than willing. I'm always willing to give, unless you are R. Kelly, I'm willing to give you a fair chance. That's all I'm saying.
Don't get me talk about that. Do not.
I'm just saying. Like I said, it's just what I'm saying. But so the next thing, people are already kind of thinking, oh, well, they're going to go straight to X-Men, straight to Fantastic Four. I'm going to say probably not. I'm going to say they're going to sit on Fantastic Four and X-Men. You'll probably be quicker to see Fantastic Four than you'll see X-Men. And honestly, I would not even expect X-Men to be in the MCU proper. I would not be surprised they still kept the motherfucker separate, because you throw the X-Men in, you create a lot of new problems.
And here we go, Hugh Jackman again, like, oh my God, Wolverine, are you gonna come back? And then he's gonna be like, all right, relax.
Look, Hugh, let me tell you something. Hugh Jackman talked pretty spicy about how he's sick and tired of eating boiled chicken and broccoli.
Yeah, he did. He did.
But you know what? If that bag is big enough,
you're gonna take that
he
out.
he will eat that boiled chicken and broccoli, which I'm gonna tell you right now just sounds disgusting to eat. Well,
Boiled chicken?
Yeah, boiled chicken and boiled chicken and broccoli every day. Like those are your meals. You're not people misinterpret it. I don't mean he ate boiled chicken and broccoli like once a day, every day for however many months. No, what I'm saying is breakfast, boiled chicken and broccoli. Lunch, boiled chicken and broccoli. Dinner, boiled chicken and broccoli. There was no pizza. There were no he wasn't going to Popeyes and getting anything. It was boiled motherfucking chicken and broccoli. It's fucking disgusting. I mean, maybe once I'd be like, all right, cool, this is all right. I can eat it once. But like if you're eating it like every day, nah, man, I'm good. But I'd be perfectly fine if they got somebody completely different to play him. I would not be mad about it. I'd be perfectly okay with it. I think you would even be. I honestly, I think that I don't think anyone should really be on the lookout for X-Men, Fantastic Four, anything right now. Like there are people who are dead set on thinking that something Fantastic Four or X-Men related is going to happen in Endgame now, and I'm like, it ain't gonna happen. No, it's not gonna happen. This stuff takes time, man. Kevin Feige. Here's the thing. If they did that, that would be such a Warner Brothers move. That's how you get Justice League. That's how you get Batman v Superman levels of fuckery. Like, dude, you don't just throw shit out there like that willy-nilly.
Just because you have access to it. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Like what was it? One of my favorite wrestling personalities. He says this shit all the time. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. It's like you may be able to cut your ear off, but does that mean you should and call yourself Van Gogh? It doesn't work that way. It is what it is. But I think they will, but not right now. I think people need to really like curb the expectation of what is coming, like what the next thing is. I think really people need to kind of sit back, lean back, take time, because I mean, you don't want them to rush this shit, because that's honestly why you got some of those bad X-Men movies, like X-Men Last Stand, X-Men Apocalypse. These were rush jobs. They were trying to get something out there really fast, and that's how you got that garbage movies like that. I don't want Disney rushing anything. Because it's proven that when they rush things, that's when bad things happen. That's
at least personally. Well, like I said, I think maybe possibly. Now, I think like the whole point of I know someone said this in the chat, Captain Marvel, but I think that movie. I'm not going to give my opinion about it. Like I said, we're going to do it later. I didn't mind it. I actually enjoyed it, but I have my little nitpicks here and there. But whatever. I think that was a movie kind of just to kind of glue everything together when it comes to certain plot points, as well as introduce some future things. So a lot of people were kind of set on, was it Secret Invasion? Where
Secret Invasion.
Brian Michael Bendis, right? If I remember correctly. And people are set on Secret Invasion because one, they introduced the Skrull and the Kree. And at this point, it's like, okay, they use them for the film. They're not like, it was kind of the mainstay of the whole Captain Marvel film. But usually what films like that tend to do is, because they introduce them, that's usually banking them for a later date.
Right.
And then they might try to do concepts like the new Avengers, because we already know, like, what was it, Captain America is going to be going down from his contract, as well as Robert Downey Jr. Chris Evans, that was the name I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
But
actually, I think Chris Hemsworth, I think he may have re-signed, but I know all their contracts kind of came up roughly around the same time.
Right. So I think they're going to start introducing a little bit more of that, since they do have this deal. But like I said, I do not think this is going to happen immediately. They're going to kind of work their way into some new characters, like you said, Captain Marvel, the new Avengers, all that stuff, and then kind of work their way into like Secret Wars. Just because I think personally, just because you introduced it so I would say so immediately, kind of, sort of. But I think that's what they'll do. I don't think it's going to be anything else besides that. Anything else is too much of a reach at this point. It's just, there's nothing leading to it. There's no Easter eggs. There's no nada, no nothing. Like, for them to just be like, okay, Infinity War is over, Endgame is over. Guess what we're going to do now? We are going to do like, I'm I'm laughing because I'm like, this would be so dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're good. No,
like,
no,
okay.
dude, you're good. You're good. Because you're probably thinking the same thing that I'm thinking right now.
Like, it would just be so random. Like, it just wouldn't make. I can't even get it out. But it just wouldn't make any sense. So I think personally that's what it is. So I think we should be safe with that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of like what you're kind of piggyback what you were saying about Captain Marvel. Screw it. I'll say what I think. Why not? But here's the thing. Do you need to watch Captain Marvel to know what's going on in Endgame?
No.
No, you don't. You really don't. Now, would it be weird if you were like, let's play make believe.
Right.
Let's pretend you were someone who does not read comic books, does not know anything about comic books. You don't even really watch comic book movies all that often. But you walk into Avengers Endgame, and it's the only, maybe we won't say it's the only, but you only really watch like just some of like the main Avengers movies that everybody talks about. Like you watch Captain America, maybe you might watch Spider-Man, you watch the core Avengers movies, but you're not necessarily rushing out to go see. You may not have rushed out to go see Black Panther. You may not have rushed out to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp. You may not have rushed out to go see Thor Ragnarok. But here's the thing: if you walked into Endgame and all you really know is those handful of Marvel movies you've watched, all of a sudden Captain Marvel just shows up, and you're like, Who this bitch? Who this bitch? That's what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen. And because it happened, I heard people talking about that in Infinity War. There were people who were like, "Who's the purple dude?" You just don't throw people in like that willy-nilly. I mean, no matter, even if you do, like, it's kind of like, okay, Black Panther. Captain America Civil War, they did it perfectly. They just introduced him organically into the plot of Civil War. They kind of tweaked things a little bit. And then that way you kind of get an opportunity. You don't know who the character is at first if you are unfamiliar with the comics, but by that point, they give you just enough that you feel sympathy for. It's, man, God, so many analogies. But I can use wrestling to pretty much explain just about anything. You don't just throw a baby face, a white meat baby face, just out there into the wild. Like it's case in point what they're doing in WWE with the NXT people. They just kind of threw them out there. Not everybody watches NXT. So when they went out there, they throw out, Ricochet, Aleister Black, DIY, and so on and so forth. People just had this like, oh, hey, who are these dudes? I don't recognize this music. This isn't Stone Cold's music. Who are these guys? And that's what happened. And that's what would happen if you just threw Captain Marvel into Endgame willy-nilly, no movie. And I'm gonna say this, and this is an unpopular opinion, but everybody that I've seen complaining, saying, "Oh, it should have been Monica Rambeau," it would have been the same damn thing. It may not be the same people making the argument against Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, but there'd be a whole other sector of people who would be complaining about some random black chick just showing up and whooping everybody's ass. It'd be the same thing. We would trade the one group of people over here that are complaining. We would trade them for the other group of people who probably aren't complaining. Personally, I don't care. It's I guess maybe I'm in the small camp of people who does not care if Monica Rambeau is ever Captain Marvel again. That was 30 years ago. We're not trading on 30 years ago. I like Monica Rambeau for a decent of the character she was even back then. I like her way better now. I think she is, for as much as I loved her as a child, I love her so much. She has way more attitude, way more sass, way more just everything. She's just not to mention she has a much better costume. Much better costume. Monica with the locks, that's my girl. That's my girl. That's my spectrum. I would rather her be that because it just makes more sense. If you understand what the name of Captain Marvel like pertains to, you would probably it would be like if let's say random Oliver Queen all of a sudden became the next Superman. That's how I'd feel about it. That's kind of what it is to me. Like maybe because I know more about the history of Captain Marvel than the average person, and I mean from Marvel to Monica to what was it, Genus to Phyla to what was it, Connor to Novar to Carol. I have a very deep and personal knowledge of all things Captain Marvel, so that is why I feel the way I feel about it. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. I don't have it in me enough to care about, about that in particular. I actually thought it was cute that she was in Captain Marvel. I was like, dude, that's really cool because they made. I mean, you didn't have to try hard on me. I already liked Rambo. But I was like, oh, dude, they made her this cute kid and here's the thing. I'm playing the long game. I'm playing the long game here. Everybody I hear is like, oh, dude, man, fuck that. They made her a kid in a movie set in the 1990s.
So
it's like, so basically what you're telling me is, okay, so she's 10 here, which means by Endgame, she's maybe what? I'm not even thinking. She's probably in her 30s. She's probably
like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, late 20s, early 30s. So I mean, dude, I would much rather have that Monica Rambeau. I'd rather have that set up. It makes more sense to me. Just saying.
No, it does.
But the thing is, you also had to. But going back to the beginning, you have to introduce that character and get people who maybe don't know who Monica Rambeau is. Mm. And get them on board with her because it's way easier. And people don't want to accept this, but honestly. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and let me preface everything I say with what I'm about to say I don't agree with and think is okay, but I understand why it works. You can't just throw random black people at a general audience that may or may not be predominantly white. I'm just going to throw that out there. You just really can't. Because, it's facts. I mean, yeah, T'Challa, yeah, sure. But here's the thing, though. T'Challa is affluent. He is very well spoken. And he is unassuming. You just look at him and go, oh, he's one of the nice black people. Aw. That's what people think when they see T'Challa. But the thing is, the truth of the matter is, bring in Monica Rambeau, who is sassy. She takes no shit. She's kind of street. She's kind of street.
Oh no, she has an attitude problem. Oh my god, I don't like her.
I'm like, oh, that woman, she's too sad. Oh, she's a nasty woman. That's what people are gonna say. It's the same thing. People don't realize that the argument they make against the one thing is the same as the argument that is being made against the other thing. It's like no one wins. Now, I will say this is something I will say I did agree with somebody. It may have been brought up in the chat here, but I know it was brought up in the comments on one of my videos. I would be perfectly okay. I would have been perfectly okay with the fact if they would have made it a dual Captain Marvel, kind of like what I wanted for the Green Lantern movie that they were talking about making, like have it be Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. I would have been perfectly fine with that. A buddy cop movie with two broken, overpowered, just badass women just coming out whipping ass. Just what was it? What was it? Mantis said. Take name. What was it? Take butt and kick names or kick names. Take butt. Doing exactly that. I would go see that movie.
Kicking names and taking ass.
Yes. But that's not the movie they made. So I took the movie that they made. But did I enjoy it? I saw it 3 times. No lie. The look on my daughter's face watching Captain Marvel just wreck shop. It was priceless to me. It was priceless. Her mouth just being like, it was perfect. I loved it.
I enjoyed the movie as well. I don't know if you want to get into any details.
We'll get it. We can get. Well, I guess sure. Why not? It's kind of a stream of conscious right now. Because I mean, I guess you kind of have to talk about it a little bit. Because is Captain Marvel overpowered? Sure, but she is in the comics. And before anybody says it, so is Spectrum, which is why Spectrum is more overpowered than Carol is. And everybody is already complaining that Carol was too OP and she was a Mary Sue. What do you think Monica Rambeau would be called?
God.
I mean, it's like, look, it's like, okay, so if Brie Larson as Captain Marvel was Goku, Monica Rambeau's fucking Broly. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say it right now. You think that there's a difference, and there is technically a difference. But I mean, yeah, you would just be trading one overpowered character for another even more overpowered character, and it's hard. That's why Spectrum has never really had her own book. She's always in team books because she's different. Spectrum, Blue Marvel.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I feel like Blue, yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. They're too overpowered, and it's difficult to write for a character like that. I mean, I could, off the top of my head, I could probably come up with a decent enough way to introduce a character like Blue Marvel and maybe give him a movie. But honestly, he probably would work better just being on a team, because if he's by himself, it's like, dude, ain't nobody watching Blue Marvel. Ain't nobody gonna run Blue Marvel's fade. Hell, ain't nobody running. Monica Rambeau killed Killmonger. And didn't even break a sweat. Come on now. I mean, and this is
my brunch.
I mean, and this is when Killmonger was like probably, I mean, before the movies, at the height of his, powers. So I mean, yeah, it's just, dude, come on now. Let's keep it funky. But yeah, dude, I thought the movie was, it was great. I mean, Clearly, I saw it 3 times. I do not go see movies more than once if I don't like them. Like, I saw Ghost in the Shell 1 time. And
better than me.
In which I would actually make a case to say 3/4 of a time, because I fell asleep during about maybe a quarter of that movie. But I'm just being honest. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I even like, a lot of people were pissy about Nick Fury in that movie. I thought it was great.
I like the chemistry between her and Nick Fury. It was really good. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I gave it an overall rating of like a 6 out of 10. But mind you, a 6 out of 10 did not mean it's a bad movie. Definitely enjoyable. I liked watching it. There were just some choices that obviously that they kind of had no choice. Like you said, she's overpowered. There's certain things you cannot do with her character.
No.
And that's gonna show in the plot. It's gonna show in the dialogue, and like the way that they choose to interact with the characters. It's just gonna show. That's just there's no way you can kind of go around it.
No.
But they did the best with what they had, and I enjoyed the movie. And I think one of the best parts of it was the relationship between Carol Danvers and Nick Fury. It was like it almost had like a buddy cop kind of feel, you know. Nick Fury was a lot more lighter. This is early in his career. He's not so serious, and then it was a lot more enjoyable. And then it also brings a question on his eye. Some people are like, that's the only thing. I was just like, was he lying when he said how he lost his eye, or he was too embarrassed because he lost it to an alien posing as a cat? I don't know, but
I mean, a Flurkin is a very dangerous creature.
True.
So, I mean, if you're gonna lose your eye to something,
that's a dope way to lose your eye.
Dude, I'm just saying. I mean, because it could. I mean, just look, because the thing I kept hearing people say was, "Oh, he lost his eye to a stupid cat." And it's like, well, it's not a cat; it's a Flurkin. Flurkins are dangerous. Did you not see what they did to? Do you not see what the Flurkin did to the Kree, and why Talos was so scared of the damn thing?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like I said, I liked everybody in it. Just about. I think the only person I thought was like, oh, well, that was a waste, was Clark Gregg. I was like, yeah, Clark Gregg really didn't have to be there. I agree. It's good to see him, though. Don't get me wrong. It's good to see him. I like Coulson. It's good to see him. But he didn't have to be there. I mean, they did it to trade on the nostalgia that people had from like Phase 1.
I mean, they also had to just show how much of an OG that Coulson was. Like, even when he was given specific orders, kill them on sight, he was like, "That's my boy. I ain't gonna do him like that. I ain't see him in the staircase. Go ahead, leave." And I was just like, "Yo, Coulson, woo,
dude, Coulson's that guy." Look, first off, okay, so we're talking about people you don't want to know what you're doing. Coulson's that dude, man. I feel like Coulson's the type of dude that, like, if you were out here fucking up in the streets, you were out here just like wilding out, Coulson's that dude you could have with you, man. He'd have you back. Like, he'd ride with you.
Absolutely.
He'd be on the he'd be in the brig of the helicarrier with you when y'all got caught out there like fucking up in the streets.
He'll tell you too, like, "Why did you do this, man?" I'm like, "But you was right there with me." Yeah, I mean, yeah, but still, like, I gotta have your back. But why ain't gotta do it for?
But no, I mean, like I said, so that said, I don't. It is what it is. Also, I really thought that as far as like the the choices that were made in the movie as far as like Marvel, the way they handled Marvel, I was fine. The way they handled Yanrog, I thought was fine. Yeah. Even the final fight, I actually thought it was cool because it actually subverted my expectations of what was going to happen, especially when you think about the logistics of those two characters fighting at the point that Captain Marvel is at the end of that movie. Like I was like, dude, yeah, it was really an homage to Indiana Jones for the youngins who may or may not have seen that Raiders of the Lost Ark. But that being said, as far as everything else, because some of this other stuff kind of ties into like James Gunn coming back, being involved in the MCU again, which kind of helps prove that the only people upset about Marvel versus DC are the people who watch it. Or just the people who watch it. Just people who watch it or read it. I mean, because Marvel doesn't care. Marvel doesn't care he's doing a movie for DC. DC doesn't care that he's going back to Marvel. Not really. I mean, honestly, if anything, it's even better for them because they can say, we got the guy who made one of the best, maybe two of the best Marvel movies they've ever had. We have him directing our movie. Now what? Suicide Squad 2 reboot, whatever the hell it's going to be. Boom, we got it.
That's exactly why they did it.
And Marvel,
the old DC Marvel, was it that whole like competition they had back in the day? That's exactly what it was.
The distinguished competition. Like, let me just go ahead and say, and I think anyone who watched the Shazam video that I did the other day, my stance on that will never change. For all these people who talk about Marvel versus DC, which one's better? I'm going to tell you right now, they're both shit. They have done shady shit to each other throughout the years. They have done some trash shit to each other throughout the years, and bless their hearts. But like whenever people are like, oh, Marvel did DC dirty. Yeah, DC did Marvel dirty too. Let's not act like that wasn't a thing. But no, so yeah, you got James Gunn coming back, so that means we're gonna be getting Guardians of the Galaxy, but it won't be till like 2022, 23, something like that. I think they said that like before he could even think about doing anything with that. He still has the script in place. So that means basically what that means is you've opened the door up for something else to come in and take Guardians of the Galaxy's place, which I think is what Eternals is kind of gonna wind up being. Eternals is gonna be that next thing, and okay, so I'm gonna go and tell you right now. I'm right there with you. The same look you have on your face right now.
Like, why? Oh, why? Like, why?
Eternals, dude. Eternals is washed. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't care. Now, but here's the thing, though. I didn't care about the Guardians of the Galaxy before that movie came out. Just gonna be real with you. Keep it a buck. I didn't care about Guardians one bit. I knew who they were. I was aware of who they were, and they just weren't my thing. They weren't my thing then. I mean, I liked characters that were in the Guardians, but like I just didn't care about the team as a whole.
But Eternals though, like, all right, what story have you really read where you was just like, oh my god, the
only Eternal I'm even vaguely familiar with, or actually I take that back. There's two that I'm vaguely familiar with, and that is Eros, who is like Star Fox. He's the brother of Thanos. I mean, there's that. But the other one, oddly enough, and mostly because I just like the character's name because it's also my daughter's name, is Cersei. So there's that.
Cersei. I'm trying to remember.
She was an Avenger at one point back in like the 90s. That's actually how I was even keenly aware of who she was. But she is one of them, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you see her for a New York minute in Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War. I don't remember which is one of them. It might have been Infinity Gauntlet, maybe. Yeah, probably Infinity Gauntlet. But yeah, man, Eternals, and I get it. You're trying to do something different. And I guess that kind of speaks to what we're talking about here is that, like, you can get superhero fatigue. Like, what the hell are you going to do after Endgame that's going to keep people that keep butts in the seats? I don't know. Because, like, you literally going to have to keep doing new things. Like, what Marvel was doing with, like, okay, Captain America, Winter Soldier, spy picture. Guardians of the Galaxy, space opera. Ant-Man and the Wasp, romantic comedy, sort of. Captain Marvel, buddy cop movie. You're gonna have to start jumping into some new genres. And Eternals, I think it's an opportunity for you to do something different, but I have a sneaking suspicion they'll dip back into that space opera territory. They might surprise me. But I feel the same way about an Eternals movie as I feel about a New Gods movie from DC. It's like, I just don't see a reason. It's just like, that's a TV show. Like in both cases, Eternals and New Gods, those are two properties that I think are both by Jack Kirby that are better suited for television.
Sadly enough, though, even as a TV series, I still think it probably wouldn't even do that well. I mean, like, I feel like that kind of falls into kind of the same area as the Inhumans TV show, like, sort of, kind of, a little bit, where not as bad. Let me not say that. It's definitely not going to be as bad, but I'm just like, it's just one of those things that most people are just like, I can do without it. You know, they're not going to make an extra effort to see it, at least in my opinion. That's what, you know, whatever people watch, that's their business. But I'm just
I 100% agree. Well, it just you have to keep it fresh. You got to keep it, you got to keep it updated. You got to keep it new. And yeah, man, I don't know. I don't see good things. But I can tell you this. If you really want to wow me, if Marvel, which I know they don't give a shit about what I think, I know for a fact they do not give one flaming fuck about what I think. But I'm gonna tell them anyway. Okay, so if you wanted Blerd Without Fear's attention, like if you really wanted to wow the Blerd Without Fear, okay, here's what you do. Okay, we're talking about genre movies. Having genre movies be how you keep the superhero movie afloat, because it's not just the same old. It's not like, oh, it's the origin story, or okay, it's the middle part where things get dark. Okay, it's the third one where they face insurmountable odds. Okay, yeah, we're not doing that. Okay, so you want to bring Blue Marvel. Let's say you want to bring Blue Marvel in. Let's say you just want to surprise people. It's like, hey, here is legit the first black superhero. Like, we got Black Panther, but he's technically African. But this is the first black superhero. Okay, cool. Tell a civil rights story.
You read my mind. I was like thinking like I won't say documentary approach, but definitely one of those docu-series kind of like where they heavily influence and just be like, all right, cool. Like, you can start off mentioning even like I can give you the first like 15 minutes right now, straight at the dome. So you can start off automatically. You have the flashes from Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, just show little things like Marcus Garvey, all that taking place during this point in time. This is during the 60s, of course. So everyone's fighting for their rights, Rosa Parks. And then you kind of just see that there is a family. There's like, you can start off with him as a little kid. You don't spend too much time on it. Just, just so like, okay, this is the person we're following. And then, as you see when he gets older, he's an intelligent young man, very smart. And despite how intelligent he is during that time, obviously he's still not seen as an equal. He has to work twice as hard just to get anywhere. If anything, 4 or 5 times as hard. So he's still working, and like I said, at this point, we're not going to spend too much time as him as like an adolescent or anything like that. We're just kind of going through the phases, and you kind of seeing like he is someone who had extreme potential. And then we kind of get to this point where he gets his power, and then right when he gets his power, boom, you kind of just like go. It's like one of ththose movies that start at the end, but like then it goes to the beginning, then it goes to the middle, but you don't do too much of it.
You don't just bouncing around.
You see that he gets his power, the explosion, the accident, whatever, antimatter. Then his friend who was in there with him, who also got similar powers, whatever, it got turned into
anti-man.
Yeah, I'm just like, you can see all that, but then at that point, that's where you kind of cut out, and then you just see him in present day, and then you kind of move the story along, and then depending on how you want to tell that origin story, you can either have Ant-Man come back like they did in the Blue Marvel comics, where the Fantastic, what was it, Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, and that was the same time when he went to go speak to Namor. That's if you want to do all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he even had Uatu in there at some point.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's if you really want to do all that. But I would say Uatu is a good choice because a lot of it, I think some of the comic did take place when he's like describing what he dealt with as a black man to Uatu the Watcher, and At least for, I think it was maybe possibly just a page, probably less actually.
It was a couple of pages, give or take. But no, I mean, I'd be on board. I'd be 100% on board for that, because I mean, you could tell. Here's the thing we haven't seen in a superhero movie. A character, and this is the same thing I harp on about characters like Superman. Superman has no struggle. The man is invulnerable. He can leap tall buildings in a single bound. Hell, he can fly over them, for Christ's sakes. He's faster than a locomotive, and maybe even faster than that, because locomotives are fucking outdated. The man is literally he's the Ubermensch. He is the Superman. He's basically a god. Nothing can hurt him except a green rock and some magic. He has no natural predators. However, you take a character like Blue Marvel, that is a character who has natural predators. Not necessarily saying he has a rogues gallery, but what I'm saying is he has actual problems. He is a black man with all the power in the world. He's pretty much invincible. He actually, I don't think, has any weaknesses whatsoever. However, he is subject to the same racism, the same public opinion, the same bigotry, the same prejudice that any other normal black person would be subject to. And I think that you get the right director. And I'm gonna go tell you right now, and I know she kind of skipped out. She skipped out on us because, you know, she didn't see eye to eye with what Marvel was wanting to do when she was originally tied to Black Panther. But this is when you bring in a cat like Ava DuVernay, and man, she'd tell that story. She would tell that story, and she would tell it well. She would tell it so well that movie, that would be, if they didn't have one by then, that would be the movie, because it's got everything that gets the Oscars going. You know, it's got a black man struggling. Wait a minute. Anti-Man, he has a white best friend who becomes his villain, and he has to try and bring him back. So there you go. It's kind of a take. It's not the white savior thing, but it's like he's like, hey, I gotta get this guy back on track. That is Oscar bait, if there ever was one. But now it's Oscar bait that actually attracts comic book fans. And so if they didn't have the Oscar by then, like the Best Picture Oscar, they'd get it with the Blue Marvel movie. I can guarantee you on that. Matter of fact, hell, you could even tap Ryan Coogler. He's right there. Ryan Coogler just gave you Black Panther. He could direct this damn movie if you wanted him to. And right now I'm blanking on some other amazing directors that could take on that type of a film. But hell, actually, dude, you know what? You already got this dude in your roster, man. Hit up Forrest. If I'm not mistaken, Forrest Whitaker, he's got some directing ability. He definitely does. He could tackle that. I'm just saying, that's just me. You hate on my idea if you want, but
I mean, that's definitely it's a solid idea. I'm not gonna hold you. That sounds like, you know what? I think you should write this down, right? And then send it to Marvel and just be like, hey, just an idea, just throwing this out there. And then, you know, let them run with it. I mean, I agree with you on the type of movie, how it should be done, and even like the type of directing, because that's definitely an Oscar movie, especially like the where like you said, the man who has all the power in the world. I mean, literally, if he chose to, like, oh, I can destroy this planet just because I want to, just because I feel like it, but he doesn't, and then he still deals with being oppressed. I mean, the most powerful person. That was the reason why he stopped being a superhero. Here comes the government. All right, listen here, bro. Listen. So, I think you did a great job, but I mean, you're black, so let's you know, your identity got revealed, and you know, people are not feeling black people right now. You know, just I think you should just throw in the towel for right now. You did great. I'll give you the Medal of Honor, but no one can be there though. No one can be there. This is just us, and we'll call you. Don't call us. We'll call you, kind of thing. So that would definitely do really well in the theater, especially in this day and age. Forget about it. That'll be another Black Panther release. Like, you see all the black folk in the theater is just like, oh my.
Dude, no, I'm right there with you. And I'll go and tell you right now, you know, people were, like I said, people kind of going back to Captain Marvel. People are in the feelings about, you know, Captain Marvel. But let me tell you something. Captain Marvel did a very good job preparing people for the forthcoming of Spectrum.
Yeah.
And because the movie was very clear that yes, this person, it was very in the very typical Marvel way. This movie hinted that Monica Rambeau, when she gets older, she will get powers. They made a very Nick Fury makes a very clear reference to the fact that she, to her powers in the comics. Like he's like, oh, maybe one day if you start glowing, you know, which she will, because that's her whole thing is the different spectrums. It just but. I like
a very interesting power set.
No, her power set is amazing, but the thing is, it's broken. Her power set is mega broken. She's probably the most powerful. I would dare say. I mean, yeah, maybe not in the strength category, but like just the pure raw glass cannon way of thinking about it. Yeah, dude, she's freaking insane.
What was it? Her powers is like any energy she comes in contact with, she can just like duplicate. So I'm like,
yeah, pretty much.
I'm like, imagine her coming into like living long enough to kind of deal with the energy from the Beyond verse. I'm just like, that kind of makes her like that's looking like a reality warping kind of situation that she might be encountering, kind of.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's any like pretty much all of the different spectrums of energy she can manipulate. She can even become that stuff. I mean, just like it, like I remember when I did the video, there was like a long list of different energy spectrums she can manipulate. I'm like, dude, no, that's broken. You could. She literally had the power to destroy the like when they were doing the what was it? When the ultimate Earth and the prime Earth when it was getting ready to collide, they were going to collide each other. They sent her up there to destroy that Earth, and when she got there, she realized, oh wait, there's people here, and she was like. Dude,
not even that she couldn't do it. She was just like, "Oh, there's people."
Like, oh, wait a minute. It wasn't like she got up there. It wasn't like she lied on her job application. and some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act like y'all know what I'm talking about. Like you lied about some shit on your job application. Like, oh yeah, man, I totally know how to use Excel. And then you get the job, and they want you to do some spreadsheets, and you're like,
let me go on YouTube real quick.
Here, let me Google this shit real quick. Y'all, I can't do these while y'all are watching. But no, what she did. She went up there. She was about ready to throw down, and then she was like, "Oh wait, there's kids here. I can't do this." That is why she didn't do it. But give me a Spectrum movie because that is clearly on the table now. Or at the very least, if there's a Captain Marvel 2, which it's made all the money worldwide, I don't see why there wouldn't be. Have her like be full grown. Hell, here's the thing. You may even see that heifer in Endgame. You don't know. She may be in the movie. She might be in a post credit. You don't know. You haven't seen it yet. We don't know yet. But no, but the main thing, and I want to give shout out to Evo who noticed my taskmaster over here. So there you go. Like I said, man, I spend money on frivolous things. I'm just gonna let y'all know that right now. There's all sorts of shit behind me that y'all can't see. But I love Taskmaster. That's why I bought him. So there you go. But so you've got all these different things. But yeah, I actually think that if you did Spectrum like in Captain Marvel 2, you've already kind of warmed audiences up to. You've kind of charmed audiences with this young girl version of Monica Rambeau. Now, if they make a Captain Marvel 2, it'll likely be taking place in the present, most likely, or hell, it might take place, maybe still in the past, maybe in the 2000s. I don't know. But either way, you could still bring back Monica Rambeau through that. I think I would actually like better if they stayed in the present because then you get that legit, you get that Auntie Monica.
Hey there, I haven't seen you in like 20 years. How are you? I'm great.
I'm good.
I'm glowing too. You know?
Here. I'll handle this light work real quick. but no. I just those are the things I will say right now. No Sentry. I do not want to see Sentry anywhere near the MCU. He complicates things. And I tell you what, the only way I can see Sentry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is if you went the route that Marvel sometimes does with characters, where they introduce characters that are heroes, but they somehow twist them to make them bad guys, or characters that didn't really lean one way or the other, but they find a way to twist it and kind of make them different than what they originally were. That's the only way Without saying, I guess, yeah, fuck it. Spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right, for a movie that's like over like what, 2 months?
It's almost wait. It was honestly, it's almost a year old now. but no, just saying real quick that like what they did with Bill Foster, Black Goliath, who is in that movie, but he's not necessarily a bad guy though, but he's not a good guy either. He's kind of,
I say he was a good guy, but he did wrong things for the right reasons.
Right. Yes, exactly. And that's kind of what I would see them do. Like if you brought in Sentry, the only way I'd be okay with Sentry coming in is if he came in, and it's kind of what I think they're doing with Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home, is you bring in this character, you paint him up as a good guy. But really, and this actually works for Sentry because he is his own worst enemy. I haven't finished the Sentry miniseries they just dropped. I need to read that, but something may have changed. I'm just going based on old information. But like you had, what was it, the Void? Yeah. And you had the Sentry. You could bring in the Sentry and say, okay, well, here's the Sentry, and oh man, it's this guy, he's amazing. Oh wait, he is not who he says he is. Or he kind of is, but he kind of isn't. You could maybe have him make a heel turn, and then make him be, you know, hell, I mean, really, if you want to, that could be your, I mean, I wouldn't want that to be the next major threat, but you could make that a major threat. You can make that a threat that could span more than a couple of movies, or maybe have it build up to something that that could eventually lead to him becoming the Void, versus being the Sentry.
That would be cool. I would say you kind of got to Superboy prime him, where he thinks he's kind of doing the right thing, but as like you said, over the course of time, he kind of fades into that Void like mentality. Like, look what you're making me doing. You're making me kill people. And you know, to normal people, I'm like, I'm not making you do anything, bro. That's all you. But
dude, you ripped Carnage in half. I didn't tell you to do that.
That was all you, my friend. But that would actually be a cool movie. What genre would I make that? I would say kind of a thriller, sort of, kind of.
I can see that.
Like, you know, it's like, oh, it starts off kind of, you know, hey, the Sentry, woo, I'm like another knockoff of Superman. The next thing you know, just like, you know, over the course of time, we just see like almost like a, you know, like that night and day kind of switch, where like at one point he just like blacks out for like maybe an hour, but then he doesn't know why, he doesn't know what happened, but he's like, okay, whatever, maybe I just got tired, fell asleep, you know, he tried to brush it off, but then, you know, that's when the Void kicks in. But, you know, over the course of time, it gets longer and longer till eventually there is no more Robert Reynolds. It just, you know.
I tell you what, man. Here's another. I'm sitting here like rubbing my eye because, you know, reasons. I'll tell you what, because I'm sitting here and I have this amazing game next to me that I don't have in the shot because it's over there. But I'm a huge Marvel Legendary fan. I play Marvel Legendary with me and my wife, you know, friends. We play that all the time. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this box. It's a humongous box with gajillions of characters just in there because reasons. And man, one of the things I started thinking about was, okay, threats. New heroes, new threats, like new movies. Of course, you know, because we're gonna get the standards. We'll probably get another Thor movie, maybe. We're gonna get a Spider-Man movie. We know that. We know we're getting Black Widow. But technically, I think Black Widow and Spider-Man, I think, are still a part of this. I don't know if they're still a part of this phase or if they're starting off the new phase. Or maybe Spider-Man is the start.
Spider-Man starting the new phase. And
yeah.
Then, you know, Natasha Romanoff is kind of like that transitionary kind of thing they got going on.
So, like, we know in Phase 4, we're at least getting a Black Panther 2. We know we're getting Spider-Man Far From Home. We know we're getting Black Widow. There's been talk of an A-Force movie or an all-female-led movie. Whether that's A-Force or not, I don't know. But I will definitely say, if I were doing anything, because James Gunn originally said the Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was supposed to be the cosmic stuff, like more like double down on cosmic, which I guess is also why we know we're getting the Eternals as well. That's I guess kind of answers our questions of why they're going that route, but maybe not so much why they should be going that route. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, if I don't see a Nova movie, I'm just gonna be real with y'all, man. If I don't see a Nova movie, because I don't know if y'all may not see this, but I got Richard Rider sitting up here chilling. Richard Rider is literally sitting like right there, right next to Captain Marvel. In case anyone noticed,
like Marvel's version of the Green Lantern Corps. You know,
yeah, which yeah, dude, where my boy at? Where my boy at? That's all I'm asking. I just asked for Richard Rider. I didn't ask for Moon Knight. I want Moon Knight too, but I mean, I'm just saying if we're gonna keep it funky, I want my boy. I want Nova. I want to see. Now, granted, we probably won't see supernatural stuff till like Phase 5. That's a whole other story. But I want to see those characters. I want to see Blade. I want to see Ghost Rider. I want to see Moon Knight. I want to see these characters coming out. And of course, we're never getting Morbius, but that's Sony. That's Sony doing their own thing because Sony does Sony shit. But I mean, I want to see those things, but the real issue though to me is threats because okay, Thanos, that's your threat. That's your threat for the Infinity Saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So what's the next threat? Is it Galactus now? Because you got the rights to that. You can talk up Galactus. Yeah, actually, yeah, they do now. They got that motherfucker now. look, right now, anytime someone asks like what Disney has in their toy box, like literally you just see them like digging in the bag, going like, yeah, no, we got him. Yeah, he's in here. He's in the bottom, but Mole Man, yeah, he's in here. Yeah, we got him. We can use him. What about MODOK? Yeah, no, we got MODOK. We got him. He's right here at the top. We were gonna use him maybe. I don't think they have Kang though. I think Kang is still maybe Kang might be in there too. I know Kang is weird. He sits as Kang, and I'm gonna say it the way I say it because it's the way I say it. But Namor, I know they are in separate bubbles of legality that don't exist at Fox or Paramount or anywhere else. Like I think they exist. I forget who has the rights to either of those characters, but I remember reading something a long time ago.
That is true
about that. Yes, Super Skrull. Yes,
that would be good.
Yes, and yes, Kang the Conqueror. Yes, I want all those things. Look, yeah. See, Evo, he knows what I'm talking about. He saw Richard Rider back there chilling. Actually, dude. Okay, Enoch. Yep. She-Hulk. I want my She-Hulk movie. Where's my She-Hulk movie at? Yeah. See, you know what? Here's the thing with Dormammu, though. I think because they've already kind of like backdoored him into Doctor Strange.
Oh, he's honestly, back.
Yeah. I think he's gonna come back. But you know what? I don't know if he would be the immediate like big bad. But the thing is, the way we've seen Dormammu, because he's kind of become an internet meme, Marvel might like kind of like slide off of him for a little bit. But if they did, dude, I think Dormammu would be okay. First off, what if you had a coalition of hell, just like the dark dimension and hell, just being like, we ain't doing this no more. Mephisto, Dormammu, get Blackheart in here, just everybody just be like, nah, man, y'all took. Oh, dude, I got it. I'm excited now, yo. Okay, who in this chat is familiar with a little story by the name of Damnation? Let's make that movie. Okay, so here, and I'm not saying a direct adaptation, but what I'm saying is, Shuma Gorath, yeah, we can get him in here too. Actually, he exists in this. Okay, so in Damnation, Doctor Strange, he brought back all the souls that died during Secret Empire. In the when Captain America did a pull up on Las Vegas. And he just nuked the entire city. Doctor Strange came back. He brought all those people back. But here was the problem.
It was Mephisto, right?
Yeah, it was Mephisto.
Oh wait, I did read this.
Yeah,
I did read this.
He stole, because remember, Mephisto was in his feelings because all the souls that he collected from those deaths, he lost them. And he wasn't happy about it. So he came back, came to Earth, he literally brought hell to Earth and was like, all right, cool. Well, if y'all took my souls, I'm just going to come up here and we're just going to chill. You broke the natural order of things by bringing all these people back. So I'm going to break the natural order. Fuck it. I'll do what I want. And that's what you do. That is what you do. You literally have, okay, here's your post credit. Here's your post credit right here. Go ahead. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. So you got your boy sitting here. Let's say, all right, you got Dormammu sitting at the table.
Right,
in his actual like humanoid form, just at the table, just like, dude, all the souls, man. They snatched them up. They gone. You got Blackheart sitting there, you know, stroking his chin. Got the wild. He got. I seriously want Marvel versus Capcom 2 Blackheart. I'm just saying. I want Marvel versus Capcom 2 Blackheart, and I just want him just sitting there, leaned up against the wall, like, yeah, man, they took our souls, man. That shit ain't cool. And then I want Mephisto just sitting there, just chilling, like, but his back is to the camera, and don't have him do the same thing. Don't have him do that turn and a smile, but maybe have it at some point. Maybe have like Doctor Strange. Maybe he made some kind of a deal or something like that. Maybe he cut some kind of a slice or something with somebody. Maybe some dark god or some light god, whatever. Some spirit of magic or whatever. But just literally have Mephisto like just turn cold in the chair and just be like, look, let's strike a deal. We about to get these souls back. It like all the what was it, like the 50% of all life in the universe that was wiped out. I ain't got them souls no more. It's time to go get these junks back. And that is your big bad right there. Honestly, I don't know. Disney's probably gonna be shy about wanting to use somebody who is essentially comic book Satan, but you know, hey, I think that we are all adult enough to like. Here's where Mephisto gets problematic. You can't give a villain like Mephisto any kind of like sympathy. Like you did Thanos, where like, oh man.
I mean, what he said made sense, you know.
Yeah, it's like man, because when you got little, like we got 8-year-olds out here going like, man, Mephisto making some points. Disney will yank that shit quick. They'll be like, boop.
I mean, like, would it hurt though just to release a few souls? I mean, nah, I'm good.
Nah, I mean, I'm just saying. I think that you could make that. That could be your big bad. Because, like I said, if you bring Mephisto into play, I mean, that can give you your Shumagorath. That can give you your Dormammu. Because hell, they came together. Dormammu and some of Nightmare. That was the one I couldn't think about. Nightmare. Because Marvel has talked about using Nightmare for a future Doctor Strange movie. So that's the other one. So it'd be Dormammu, Nightmare, and
Blackheart, you said.
Yeah, Blackheart. Oh, dude. Ooh. Get the hood. Get the hood. I want the hood sitting there. Even though technically there's no reason on earth he would ever be sitting next to those people. But yes, get the hood. I want the hood in there somewhere.
He's gonna be the one way out. Be like, I mean, I went to the meeting. I just didn't want to partner up with them. You know, I know what's going on, but I'm just gonna stay in my little space over here. Yeah, do you, and you know, I'm not gonna interrupt.
I'm not trying to get involved in all that. But no, I could very easily see like that type of an alliance being made. Because I mean, the only way you can outdo Thanos is to bring a bigger, badder threat. And granted, because here's the thing I think about Mephisto. Mephisto gets cucked by Thanos on the regular. On the regular. So clearly, because Mephisto knows his place. He knows he can't fuck with Thanos. So he usually is going to be kind of like, oh, let me kind of slide off over here. But if you put Mephisto with Nightmare and Dormammu and Blackheart and all these other characters, if you bring this Legion of Hell, they'll have to call it the Legion of the Dark Dimension because I'm pretty sure they won't say hell. But I don't care. I would watch that. I would watch that movie. I would love to see the Avengers get their shit pushed in. by the Legion of the Dark Dimension. I mean, because hell, they're doing something kind of similar right now in Avengers in the comic right now. Only it's with vampires, but I'd be game for that too, dude. Make it happen. Bring Dracula in here. I'm cool. Get the Shadow Colonel. I'll watch that.
That'll be pretty dope though. And was it each of them are very skilled in manipulation. So each movie, like all right, let's take a page out of your book, right? So they're making you can make a few movies out of this because obviously they're a villain as a group. So each movie would be like each of the like, you know, Blackheart or Mephisto or Nightmare. Each of them are kind of playing their pieces on the board, and you know, it looks like on paper, like, okay, we're the Avengers, we won today, yeah, woo. When in reality, things are not what they seem. And then behind the scenes, always the post credit is going to be like, oh, did such and such work? It did. And that's all you give people. Just don't even give any extra. That's all you give them. And they're just like, oh my God, like, did they not win? I mean, it looked like they won, but you're going to have to look at the next movie for that one. And like, it's always just a little bit of information. Just, I'm not even going to give them anything. Just, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, don't give them too much, because like that's the thing. You can't give the audience too much, because people have gotten so savvy with the trailers that like we're at a point now where Marvel has to lie to you. They have to show you shit in the trailer that isn't even in the actual movie, because they're breaking the shit down too good. They were breaking it down too good. They were calling the movies before they actually happened. You can't do that anymore. And it's one of those things, like I almost want Marvel to pull a DC, and I don't mean by movies, I mean by comics. Like do like what they're doing with like Doomsday Clock. Like, yes. You know, like Doomsday Clock, it takes place at the very end of DC Rebirth. So like all the stuff we've been reading is actually, so even though it's catch up. So like you could do all your single like solo movies as like, okay, well, these take place before, but have the Avengers movies actually taking place after. Yeah, like it, and just, dude, you could fuck with people so bad with that, dude. I would do it. It would probably look, I'll be the first one to say I'm not one to fuck up a bag, but I would take a chance with that shit. I would take a chance. I'd be like, you know what? Nah, this is Avengers 4? Man, if I was in charge of that shit, I'd be like, all right, well, the next Avengers movie that comes out, it actually doesn't take place in the middle of all these. Like, was it Black Widow, Black Panther 2, Spider-Man 2, all those other movies? It takes place after, like, way down the road. Like, because it's kind of what Marvel's doing right now with the comics, where, like, they're focusing on, like, the end of time. Dude, you could do that, too. You could do that too. Those like, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily do the end of time, but just like have something that's happening later, like way later than everything else. So that way you can mess with expectations. So that way when certain characters aren't around, you could be like, oh, well, I wonder if something's going to happen to them in so-and-so movie.
Say that writing wise, it gives you a lot more space. Because like, we just got here, but now you gotta like, we got a whole bunch of room to figure out how we got here. You know, anything can happen at that point, rather than if you're starting from the beginning. You're just like, now I gotta make everything make sense. The only thing it has to make sense if you're gonna make a good movie, just to put that out there. But just for, you know, a lack of saying, you know, but you have an ending, and then you say, okay, we're gonna get there somehow. You just don't know yet.
Oh, I'll tell you what, like we came up with some really, I think me personally, I think we came up with some really cool shit. That's just me. That's me. But what I'm gonna say is, let's open up the floor. We'll go ahead and open up the floor to some questions right now. And let's see. I'm gonna I'm gonna give it a second to kind of catch up. I'm kind of look through some stuff, because I know some questions got asked throughout. But let's see. Let's see. I'm kind of digging through. Someone apparently liked the NXT reference. I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. I love wrestling, man. I can't help it. Let me see here. Okay, so here's one. Here, let's do this one. What if Legion brought Deadpool into the MCU? What if Legion brought in Deadpool to the MCU? Man, I don't know about that, man. That you got a crazy mofo bringing a crazy mofo in. First off, here's where you get jacked up. Is you brought in Legion into the conversation.
That's already a problem.
That's all. Look, that's already problematic, because Legion is out here in these streets and he is fucking up Royal. He is out here going after folks. He's trying to take over Look, he's trying to go after folks, man. I'm like, dude, no, man. Legion. Actually, I think Legion would make a good villain. I think if you wanted to make a threat level that would be cause for an X-Men Avengers crossover that does not involve them immediately fighting each other and ending fighting each other, Legion would probably be that would be one. You could definitely do Legion.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Okay. Let's see here.
That is a sticky situation.
Okay, so here I got one. This I don't know if Sean's still in here, but he says something about how we're gonna see some big deaths in. Are we gonna see some big deaths in Endgame, or is Marvel just gonna swerve us and nobody dies?
I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah,
no one really dies in comics. So
yeah, not really. Death is
always a way.
Like it's gotten to the point now. Even in both Marvel and DC, they make open references about death, like about characters dying, coming back. It's been normalized. It's not even like a sacred cow anymore. It's just kind of a thing. So yeah, do I think somebody will die? Definitely. Somebody's gonna die. Is it gonna be anybody that like you would just absolutely miss? Probably not. Actually, I'm gonna throw you one better. I think a lot of characters are gonna die, but I think because of the nature of the things that are gonna be happening, that things are gonna get walked back and they'll get to try again. Because time travel.
I agree, actually.
I think there's going to be, and I think the quantum realm is going to play a bigger role in than people may realize. I think it's going to be much bigger than people may realize. Like I said, I don't know. What do you like? Do you got any odds on who might go out?
Everyone's keep going for like Captain America. Honestly, I think he's gonna make it. To be quite honest, I think he's gonna make it. But who I think is gonna get killed, I would bet my bottom dollar on Nebula.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see Nebula getting put down.
She's just I would say not even just expendable. I just have a gut feeling like it would be her. Like it just absolutely would be her. Just because her attachment with Gamora, even though their relationship is kind of rocky, it's just I still feel like she's gonna try and go all in the first time and get killed, and that's just pretty much gonna be. Do I think she's gonna come back? Probably if she gets killed in like the first half, for example, and then they do that whole time travel thing, the quantum realm, and then obviously she might be brought back. But I definitely think in one way, one shape or another, she's gonna die. So that's who I got my money on.
I'm gonna go ahead and say just Nebula I can definitely get behind. I wouldn't be surprised if Thor bites it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he stayed alive too. But definitely especially with everyone that's already kind of kicked the bucket at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, Hawkeye was heavily teased as opposed to having been died in Age of Ultron. Like they played with you that he might go. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hawkeye, if he goes down swinging. I wouldn't be surprised at that. Because it's not going to be anybody major. It's not going to be anybody like, it'll be somebody like major, but not like
major.
Like we're talking like A tier versus B tier versus C tier versus D tier in the Avengers. It's going to be somebody in the B to C tier, maybe.
Right.
But I would see maybe Hawkeye or Nebula. It obviously will not, like Tony Stark, I honestly don't think they're going to kill him off. And I don't think they're going to kill off Cap either. I think they would kill off Thor quicker than either of those two.
That's true.
But yeah, and of course, you're not going to kill off, they're not going to kill off Captain Marvel that quick either. But let me throw another here. We got was it George Tinker asked, do we think that the streaming shows will be bridges for the next phase?
I don't think so, and I don't think they should either.
I don't think they'll be bridges. No, I think they'll be fillers, like things to keep you, things to happen that are meaningful but aren't tangential to the story.
Like treat it like a Naruto filler. Some of them are relevant, others are you absolutely could have done without it.
Yes. Oh, wait here. About Tree Fitty. He asked Steve Rogers depowered in Endgame.
That would be dope.
I can see it happening. I can see it happening. Pass that torch. Actually, I tell you what, if they kill Cap, if they don't kill Cap, I can see them depowering him, or something happens to him where he gets depowered.
Right, I see you.
And then maybe, and this is, oh man, okay, wait a minute, and this is where we get my dream scenario. And I've been saying this for a long time on this channel. Give me a Captain America's plural movie. I want that buddy cop movie with Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan as Falcon and Winter Soldier trying to like picking, like maybe like both of them are trying to pick up the mantle in their own ways, or maybe trying to like, you know, maybe prove to each other who might be the better one to take the mantle. I would love to see just them in a buddy cop. I know they have one of their own little shows on the Disney streaming service that's going to be a thing, but I would love to see a movie of that. That would be my jam.
I just think because they have great chemistry in general.
Yeah, no, dude, they were amazing. I was like, dude, have you guys ever worked together before?
They were just like, and I've seen all the interviews with Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. Like they just like, I think they legit became friends after the movie. And
dude,
like,
if they weren't, I would be surprised.
Like they're legit friends now. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm with that. I like to see that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It was the NSA Jose. Oh, hey, dude, what's up, NSA Jose? Dude, thank you for jumping in. He says if Cap dies, it'll be a sacrifice. I definitely, it'll be. If he dies, that's the only way I see him die. It's the only way I see it happening. What else is here? 24/7 in your face. He asked, "Where's Hela?" Honestly, I would not be surprised if Hela pops up again. Yeah, she is most certainly alive. She is most certainly alive. Honestly, I was kind of hoping she would have, because they were kind of doing like the whole, well, we're not going to have the actual embodiment of death. So, and Hela kept always calling herself the goddess of death. I am death. She kept saying it so much. But I kind of thought maybe they were going to use her as like the motivation behind Thanos, but I'm kind of glad they didn't. But I would not be surprised if Hela pops up in Endgame, or if she shows up afterwards. Yeah. Because really, you think about it, Thor never really did defeat her. He kind of just like tricked her and kind of got her out of the way, and so they could go do their own thing. All
right, you Starter, you take care of this for me. I'm just gonna
dude. Hey, Starter, handle my light work. Dude, I would watch that shit. What does he say to, let's see who we got here. What do we got here? Here we got True to God TV. He says Punisher and Luke Cage in Endgame. I'm gonna say no.
Nah,
I'm gonna say no.
Definitely not.
And I'm gonna tell you why that won't happen. I'm gonna tell you why that won't happen. It's not even because Marvel doesn't want it to happen, but it's because of the fact that those TV shows were handled by a gentleman, the overseer of the TV shows, the TV side of Marvel in that regard, was a man by the name of Ike Perlmutter, who was not well loved, and he did not get along with Kevin Feige. And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he kind of used to dog Kevin Feige out before he got to the position that he was in, like right now. So yeah, you probably will not see anything TV related. If you would be quick, if the Disney streaming services were up right now and they had something going, you'd be quicker to see those characters than why am I blanking? The Netflix characters, especially since they're all kind of out. Yeah. Dude, let's see what else we got here. Says William Dean 24 says, do we know who MCU is missing access to character wise? Is it just Namor and Hulk?
Who are they missing?
Yeah, well, because technically that is something people forget. Hulk is technically not owned by Marvel right now.
Yeah, he's like kind of like that Spider-Man situation. I think.
Yeah. But with their deal, he can't have a solo movie.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but Spider-Man can have one. Let's see.
You still don't have Venom. That's still Sony.
That is true. That is true. That is true. Like, and man, oh god, don't even get me started there.
Anything symbiote related might be that might be Sony still.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's oh man. Dude, okay. You know what, Evo, I got to put some respect on your name. You throw out some shit that I can get down with. He says introduce Taskmaster as the villain in a Cat movie, training an evil Captain America like a Death Shield to tarnish Steve's name.
Son,
I'm with that.
That would be an amazing. Oh my god,
dude! Look, just have. Ooh! Wait a minute! Okay, so could you imagine a trailer like what we got for Daredevil season 3? Oh, Captain America! Dude, yes! Look, and I want the same thing because I ain't gonna lie, I forget the dude's name, but the guy that was playing Bullseye, dude. He literally did it. He may as well turn around and be like, I'm Daredevil, baby. That's what I want to be like. Captain America, baby. Oh God. Okay, here. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Talking about Meet the Scrolls. I am not MN asked if I am reading Meet the Scrolls. He says it's fucking lit, bro. You know what? I am gonna have to check it out because I saw it the other day. At the shop, and I was kind of like, but you know, yeah, you gotta be like, But no, well, because I think someone kind of described it to me as like The Americans, like the TV show The Americans, but like the Scrolls. So I mean, I'll have to mess with it. Now that you have recommended it, I'm gonna have to take a look at it. Yeah, that's just gonna have to be what it is. Here I'm gonna make one last scroll. Almost said scroll. Here, let me see what's going on in here. What's going on up in here? Because I kind of switched the chat around. I kind of just switched just showing me just whatever is just going on, period. Let's see. That's not really a question so much as it is a declarative statement. Let's see. Okay, so here, let me ask you this. This is something that kind of, it's not really so much a question that anyone specifically has asked, but it's kind of come up through the chat, and we'll let it end here. So, because I feel like this one you can get a lot of mileage out of. So, the X-Men franchise. Going forward, we know that they are now owned. They're now owned by Marvel. It's not a secret anymore. What do you do going forward? Do you keep what they have already done and then just build off of that? Or do you start completely over, reboot the whole thing, and act like none of it ever happened? Like, and bear in mind, that I guess the actors that people really want to keep, you know, people like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so and so forth. Bear in mind all those things. But yeah, like what would be your deal with that?
Now, are we in a fictional world where I do get to keep Hugh Jackman? Or we're still like in this very reality that we live in where Hugh Jackman is off the board as of right now?
I mean, I would say, hey, anything's possible. Anything's possible.
All right, so I'll try and give a hypothetical for both situations. So, me personally, I probably would. I wouldn't totally wipe everything clean because I feel like this is coming from me personally. If you feel whatever you feel about those movies, that's one thing. Some of the movies worked. Yeah. And I feel like they definitely can integrate it into the MCU a lot smooth. Like, I think the first X-Men movie was a nice foundation. Mind you, some of their the way that they depicted physics was a little retarded. That whole Wolverine, and, but I don't want to get into that.
Yeah,
but,
no. I totally know what you're talking about, though.
Like that's not how gravity works, my friend.
No.
But I think the first movie was definitely solid. It was a nice introduction. X2 was where it gets a little shaky for me, a little shaky, and I think I would probably get rid of that. Just because, in my personal opinion, it probably would have absolutely no relevance in the MCU. Now, I would probably fast forward to what's a nice little fast forward? Now, this is me keeping Hugh Jackman, by the way. So I would fast forward to what's another? Would I want to skip everything and just go straight to Old Man Logan, kind of?
Oh man. Okay, I'll tell you what I think. I would go ahead and let them have all their weird, crazy shenanigans up to the very end of Days of Future Past. Since they kind of did a soft reboot anyway, and then ignore everything else that came.
That is
any
true.
movie they like leave Apocalypse off the table and leave the Dark Phoenix movie off the table. I'd leave those off the table. I would actually just largely ignore the newer, which sucks because I actually do like some of the characters from the newer X-Men movies. I think some of them actually do a great job at the characters they play. But yeah, I'd probably just largely ignore everything after Days of Future Past, since it kind of reboots everything. You can still have some of that gravitas, but maybe not so much of the headache afterwards. And I would keep Old Man Logan. I'd keep Old Man Logan. Well,
I think, I feel
you can keep Old Man Logan.
Yeah, we can keep him. It. And actually, let me rephrase it. I think I would keep parts of X2. I'll keep parts of it.
Yeah. No, I'm right there. I feel what you're saying too.
And then for X3, I would keep parts of that movie as well. That kind of give them a reason. That whole theory where it was just like Professor Xavier wiped the Earth's mind of the mutants. And I feel like if they were, let's say hypothetically, they were to keep that if that theory was correct, that would be the reason why he wiped them, because that was such a big event. Like Magneto moved the bridge just so he can kill a mutant that was supposed to bring a cure that was going to be forced upon them anyway. So that would be a good enough reason for him to just be like, you know what, the world isn't ready, wipe. And then that's what I said. I'll keep parts to the second and third movie. And then after that, like you said, once we get to Days of Future Past, I'm just like, whatever. So anything after that besides Old Man Logan, that's pretty much I'll just that'll be what I keep. Now, if I didn't have Hugh Jackman, I'll just wipe everything. Yeah, because at that point, there's no point in keeping all the characters. And then they had more Wolverine movies than I like, almost as much as compared to like the X-Men movies, where he has his own solo movies. I'm just like, it wouldn't make any sense. So I'm just like, you just gotta wipe everything clean, start over. And if you want to keep some of the actors, I mean, I guess, but in reality, I wouldn't, because there are going to be people out there who are going to be confused. They're going to be like, oh, they were in this one, so this has to be related. I'm like, in reality,
no, so. It ain't related. It ain't related, homie. I tell you what. That said, and actually, I tell you what, we got time for just one more. I'm gonna take one more. This is actually kind of this is an amalgam of two questions, actually, because Stephen Huggins asked, who do you think should play Fantastic Four in the MCU? And True to God TV asked, can the MCU introduce their own multiverse to introduce the Fantastic Four and the X-Men? And my right off the cuff answer to the latter part of that is going to be yes. And that might not be the worst thing in the world. I think Fantastic Four, I think, should exist in the main MCU universe, but I think the X-Men should definitely have their own universe, because their shit gets wild crazy, and you would have to do the Avengers would always be showing up, and it just doesn't work that way. As far as who I'd get to play like the Fantastic Four, honestly, I'm just gonna take the low-hanging fruit. Give me John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. Give me Emily Blunt as Invisible Woman. Give me back Michael Chiklis.
I thought I was the only one. I really enjoyed him as a thing. I was like, I'm okay with this.
Him and Chris Evans were the best cast characters in like Thing and Human Torch. So yeah, give me those mofos back.
Did we joke in another video, I think?
Yeah. Chris Evans, I would say we probably don't want to bring Chris Evans back as Human Torch, but I'd say if you wanted to have anybody as I don't know, because I don't really keep up with like who is the biggest goofball in Hollywood right now. But you wanted to be somebody good. I'm blanking on
a good goofball.
Yeah, just a good, like, just straight up. Because I don't watch a lot of comedies either. That's also the other reason. I don't watch as many if I watch a comedy, it's like I watch a lot of dark comedies and a lot of like, I don't want to use the term highbrow to make it sound like I'm better than everybody else, but like I don't do lowbrow humor very well. Like it's like Hot Tub Time Machine is probably one of the few lowbrow movies that are like this, as a like a dick and fart joke comedy that I've watched in the last 10 years that actually had me rolling on the floor laughing. That is probably one of the only ones that's been able, that and maybe like This Is the End, but because of how crazy it was. But I can't think of anybody for Human Torch, but I can definitely say John Krasinski and Emily Blunt for Richard and Sue, and Michael Chiklis doesn't even have to be on camera. He can just do the voice and just have him be CG like he was in Fan Four Stick. But yeah, that being said, what about you? What you got?
Casting wise, no idea. I don't know. Like Fantastic Four is one of those things where like I saw somebody who had this hypothetical one, and it will take me forever to find it. It was on Facebook, and I thought like, yeah, I could see it visually. I could see it, but acting wise, I don't know like how I felt about it. So honestly, I couldn't even really give you an idea on that one, because much like you, I don't know anyone who's like the most popular goofball out right now. I don't really watch comedies almost like at all. But in terms of using them to introduce like the multiverse and Marvel, I agree. I would say yes. I think they should exist in the main Marvel universe, but then also one of their like kind of either accidents or one of their adventures, they can kind of, how many times has Reed Richards and tapped into a different universe, and the whole Council of Reeds, that was him meeting in an alternate dimension with all his other selves and whatever. So I'm like, it's definitely plausible. Like that's a nice way to use them to introduce like, okay, there are other, Earths, other, what do you call it? Because they have a different type of timeline compared to DC.
Yeah,
but,
it's they
is it branch theory that
yeah, I forget what it is they call this. Honestly, I wish they just use the same thing, because it may as well, because they both have a multiverse. They handle it very differently. But yeah, DC's is just as equally as weird. But yeah, neither here nor there.
I would definitely use them to introduce the multiverse. That's actually a good way to do it. If you're gonna do it any other way, Fantastic Four is the way to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I highly agree. I guess Devontae, go ahead and once again, just remind people, where can they find you?
I run a channel called Alternative Factuals. We're going to be if you search it in, your search bar, you can just type it in youtube.com/alternative factuals. Like I said, we're run by people of color, as well as in general, we just welcome anybody. I'm all about theories about your favorite TV shows, movies, all that. I like to hear it all. I talk about it all, and I definitely like to reply to comments and all that stuff. So you're welcome to join us on over, and we bake cookies. So if you like cookies, you'll definitely get some cookies and all that good stuff. So just check us out. Like I said, we're pretty chill people. I have a podcast and all that stuff. Information's going on. Like I said, we have a couple videos with my homeboy Ernie, and all that. Spawn, and I think we did the Secret Wars into MCU. It was a two-parter. So this is definitely going to happen again. Like I said, we're gonna link up, but it's always a good time. So feel free to check it out, and yeah, just let me know all your theories and crazy kooky ideas. I'm all for the antics. I'm all for it.
Well, like I said, man, thank you so much for coming on here with me and doing this. Like I said, it was one of those things. Like I was like, I've been wanting to do more streams and reach out and get more people. It's just been madhouse. Trying to plot that stuff out. So I'm glad that actually everything lined up so we could do this. I do want to say too, man, thank y'all everyone who was in the chat. Everyone's great. Y'all are fantastic. Thank y'all for coming in, just dropping in. Like the response y'all gave was just great. Also, I can see that we are very close to hitting 24K. So I just want to go ahead and give a preemptive thank you. Thank you for that. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't I don't plan it. It is what it is. I am equally as surprised as the next person when it happens. But thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Y'all are fantastic. And I'm going to try. I want to make this a regular thing. I'm going to try to. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but it may be different days. We'll figure it out. But I plan to do more live streams because these are always fun for me. It's easy. It's laid back. It's chill. I can just kick it with y'all. It's great. But that said, we're going to get out of here, and thank y'all so much for watching. Plus Ultra.